What's going on YouTube? Welcome to episode 150 of the U.S.S. Enterprise D tutorial. I'm Zero Elite and I just want to thank you very much for tuning in today's episode. If you haven't, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and helping me in supporting the channel. I can't thank you enough for that. And also, don't forget to join the Discord channel. I'll have a link in the description below. Right now I'm doing a poll on what my next ship build is going to be. So if you want to get involved with that, be sure to join the Discord. But more to talk about that in just a few moments. So anyway, let's go ahead, let's kick back, relax, and jump right into it. Today we've got about a 25-minute episode, and we're going to be getting some detailing done on the outside of our ship, really just trying to bring out the line work in our ship. Now, this is something that we've done a little bit here, and we're just going to go ahead and start the video because this is a 25-minute episode. But this is something that we've done a little bit, and I've talked about this, that, you know, when you're developing whatever build you're working on, and you're working with a lighter color, or you're working with a color where things can tend to bleed in, you can lose some of that line work as you zoom out. So that's really what we're going to be doing today, that we want to try to bring out some of these lines. We did it a little bit with the backbone of the neck, but one of the other areas of the ship that I noticed that as you zoom out, you can't see some of that line work, and that's in the very middle line of the lower hull leading up to the pylons that connect into the engines. And then we'll also be getting a little bit of detailing done in the engines as well. Now, something else I want to talk about, I've got some bad news, and I've also got some good news. If you're on the Discord, you already know what I'm about to talk about, that I actually just got a new Xbox recently, the Series X, and I learned a very, 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 very valuable, hard lesson while switching everything over, and that is never, under any circumstances, trust the cloud saving. Long story short, I lost 3.5 years worth of work bringing everything over to my Series X because I had, like a fool, I assumed like, oh, everything's good. I can just back it up in the cloud and bring it right over. It won't be a problem. And that wasn't the case. I lost the Enterprise D, the Cerritos, the Borg Cube, as well as the Disco Era Enterprise. So yeah, that's the bad news. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to fully finish this build. Now the good news is I've been making a habit as I've been going build to build, and that's pre-recording content. So this way I don't catch up with myself and I know what's going to be coming on the channel. So the really good thing about that is that the next 42 episodes have already been recorded of the Enterprise D, but there's going to be a few things that we're not going to be able to finish. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do to get around it other than spending another year or whatever it's going to take to rebuild this thing, and I simply don't have the time to do that. I feel like I've already kind of overstayed my welcome with the Enterprise D, but you know, it's one of those things where I put so much work into it that I wanted to see it through. But it kind of is what it is in this situation. I'm happy that I have the content pre-recorded so I can still kind of give you guys that closure on this build, and we can get done what I had originally intended to complete without some of the other things I had intended to do. So the downside of that is that we won't be able to flesh out the medical deck that I didn't even get a chance to start. We won't be able to finish the mall, and we won't be able to do the registration on the Enterprise D, as well as having a full tour. But like I said, you know, there's 42 episodes to go. I actually went through yesterday and I put everything, I already pre-prepped all the episodes. I just have to add the commentary. So the last episode of this build will be episode 192. That's going to be the last episode, and then we'll be moving on to the next build. Now that brings up my next subject, the next build. So I've been telling you guys that once the Enterprise D is done, not the tutorial, that when I'm done with it, I'm going to be stopping the poll on my Discord. I wasn't expecting it to be so abrupt. I was hoping to give you guys a little bit more of a heads up, which is why I'm going to be giving everybody one more week to join the Discord. So by this coming Sunday, the 26th, so June 26, 2022, on that day, I am closing the poll on my next ship build. Anything after that, I'm not going to be accepting any votes, so if you join after, you've missed the party. So if you want to get involved in my next ship build, now's the time to join, because once this poll closes, it closes. Now, with that being said, I can honestly say that Voyager is probably going to end up winning out and being the next ship build. It's currently winning by a landslide with the other builds, but I don't want to call that prematurely until it's done. But I think it's pretty safe to say that's going to be the next ship build on that I do after the Enterprise D. I'll just give you guys a little bit of a heads up on what's basically going to happen at this point, since I'm essentially done with the Enterprise D. What I am going to start doing, obviously I can't do anything until this coming Sunday, but once the poll closes and it's finalized what my next ship build is going to be, then I'm going to start prepping that out to build that. So that'll be actually great, because then we'll be able to actually start getting some brand new content on the channel. And I'm still going to go by the same rule that I set on the Cerritos and the Enterprise D going forward on all my builds. I'm not going to start that next ship build tutorial until the outside of the ship is finished. So whatever that takes, that takes. If it ends up being 2 weeks, a month, or whatever, it won't be like the Enterprise D where it takes me months to do, because if it's going to end up being Voyager, Voyager is not a big ship. So that, I expect it, in all honesty, unless something changes, it'll probably be like along the lines of the Cerritos as far as the scale of the tutorial series. But I've also learned some things while doing the Enterprise D, so it actually may not end up being quite as long as even the Cerritos, because I want to do things a little bit more efficiently going forward on the channel, which I've been talking about, but you guys really haven't had a chance to see it, because like I said, I pre-record all my content. So even like what you're seeing in today's episode, this is a couple of months old at this point. But yeah, you know, I definitely wanted to get that out there and start talking about that, because, you know, I don't want you guys to think that I didn't try to retrieve my save. Like, legit, when I realized that not everything came over to my new Xbox, I immediately turned back on my One X and I installed the Minecraft again. I logged in and I tried to download it, and the same thing happened. I was blown away. So I think what I'm going to end up doing to combat this going forward, because I really don't want to be in a position where I just lose my work again, I think I'm probably going to start converting to building over on PC. Now, I don't want to worry you guys, those of you that are on Xbox, because I'm still going to maintain a few standards by doing this, that I'm going to be doing everything without mods. Now, there may be some cases, maybe there'll be a build or two that I incorporate a mod, but really I think I've hit a good mark here as far as doing things without mods, maybe with like 1 or 2 texture packs that you have to get. But that's something that we'll be doing. Now, briefly, I do want to get into the builders, because we've got a lot of stuff to talk about today outside of the build. But this is exactly what I've been talking about, adding that extra line work. You can see now that we have this line here, this is so much more prominent than what was going on before. I think it looks 1,000 times better. And this is some of the things that you can do on your builds, whether it's a starship or anything, to bring out some of those details to make your build look a little bit better. And it's really just a matter of looking at your existing line work and seeing where you can basically add highlights to bring out those extra details. That's all we're doing in today's episode, just trying to bring out those extra details and just maybe doing a little bit of updated work on the engines here, but nothing too serious. We're not redesigning it like we did in the previous episodes. Like, that's finalized. At this point, we're pretty much down to the detailing. But yeah, no, getting back into as far as what will be coming in the future, yeah, I think at this point I'm going to be building on PC going forward. And there's a very specific reason for that. So that this way going forward, no matter what happens, whether I get a new computer or something happens, I have to format it, whatever the case may be, I'll actually be able to revert to my own saves rather than depending on something else. Um, Another reason I honestly want to do this is uh, because I want to actually be able to use ray tracing, and I think that'll make these builds look a little bit prettier, and I think it won't hurt the channel to have that. So I mean, that's just kind of my thinking on it at this point. Um, so when we do the next ship build, don't be surprised if it's on a brand new world, because I think, like I said, I haven't fully decided yet, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be the direction I'm going in forward, is that I'll be doing everything on PC. I'm going to start a brand new world and just kind of take it from there. Because the other thing too, like, I've had this world, the world that we're in right now where the Enterprise D is on, this is actually my very first creative world on Minecraft, which is also one of the reasons why it hurts so much, because we're talking from the time that I started playing Minecraft to this episode, like, we're talking well over 10 years worth of work. So when I lost 3 years worth of work, that was pretty that was a shot to the gut, to say the least, just on the Enterprise D alone, not counting the other builds that I lost. Because I'm not gonna lie, there were things that I was planning to do with the Disco era Enterprise now that Strange New Worlds is out. I was going to be doing basically a refit to kind of bring that build up to date to how the Enterprise looks on Strange New Worlds, and unfortunately I can't do that now unless I rebuild that ship, which maybe could be something that happens down the road. You never know. If I get enough people asking me for, like, hey, we really want to see a version of the Enterprise from Strange New Worlds, maybe I might do it. But I think right now that'll be something that'll be kind of put on the side burner, because there's just there's other builds that I would like to do, and I don't want this channel just to be about the Enterprise. There's other builds I want to be able to do, and I'm actually looking forward to my next ship build, because it's probably going to be Voyager. But regardless of what it was, any ship that was on that list I was happy to do, but I'll be excited to do Voyager. And then not only that, once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we've got the Star Trek Beyond Enterprise A retrofit that we'll be doing, tutorial on that. And then also I've got my model that's currently being built right now for a real version of that ship, and we'll be doing a slight tutorial series on that, on how to paint it and get the detailing in and all that stuff. That'll be a lot of fun. So definitely a lot of stuff coming up on the channel. We'll be slightly switching gears. Now, some of you might be wondering, like, okay, like, well, once your next ship build is done, like, how is that going to go? Because you still have 42 episodes to release on the Enterprise D. I honestly haven't fully decided yet. I've been toying with the idea of maybe once the next ship build is ready, maybe I might take a break on the Enterprise D and just do that other one and maybe release it at a different time. Or maybe I'll mostly do the newer ship and maybe put out like 1 or 2 episodes a week of the Enterprise D. I honestly haven't decided yet, but if there's any preference that you guys would like to see, let me know in the comments section. Let me know what you would like to see me do as far as the order and how I'm going to put these episodes out, because it's definitely something that I'm thinking about. Part of me kind of feels like maybe, I should just focus on in order the content that I have, put out what I was going to put out originally for the Enterprise D, and then move on to putting episodes out in the next build. But like I said, I really haven't fully decided that yet. We're kind of going to play that by ear until that actually comes out. What else? You guys might have noticed that I have not put out any new reviews on Star Trek Strange New Worlds. This was partly because I had actually taken a break from doing episodes for like two weeks, because it was my birthday and I wanted to take a short break. Excuse me. But now that I've come back and I'm doing videos again, I think right now I'm just going to focus on what I originally had going on. because you know, when I started doing it, I was like, yeah, I'm going to do a review of every episode. And to be honest with you, I don't think I really need to do that. I think that I can kind of focus on maybe talking about these episodes during my builds on Minecraft and kind of leave it at that. Maybe every once in a while when there's like a special or like a new show's coming out, maybe I'll do like a single review episode. But to have it out to be a full-on review series, I don't think that's going to be something that I'm going to be doing right now. Just for a couple of reasons. One, you know, I really didn't have the time to do all that extra work, but I was making it work, and I just wanted to do a feeler to see how everyone was going to feel about it, and I got kind of mixed results out of it. Um, I kind of got the inclination that, you know, um, what I currently have going on is what I should stick to, and I think that's what I'm going to do because uh, this gives me, at the end of the day, this gives me extra things to talk about while I'm doing my Minecraft episodes. And, you know, maybe I might not have everybody that's watching these episodes from beginning to end, but I'd like to believe that, you know, somebody's listening. So, with that being said, I don't want to just have an episode come out with no commentary. I need things to talk about, basically, during these episodes because I can only go off of my own experience with watching YouTube, and one thing that I cannot stand when I'm watching a build, when I'm watching any type of tutorial on Minecraft, is no talking. Especially if it's a longer episode, it can get very, very boring. So, you know, I try to take that in consideration, and it's something that I've been continuously trying to improve on, getting better at adding that commentary for you guys and giving, you know, um, commentary that has value to it. Um, so if you've been enjoying that and the progress I've been making, let me know in the comment section. Um, if you do want to see me do more of these reviews, let me know in the comment section too. Let me know how you feel about this. You know, let's have a discussion about it. Because, you know, at the end of the day, I definitely love hearing from everybody. And, you know, kind of take it from there, you know, because at the end of the day, you guys kind of give me the gauge as far as what direction I'm going to go in on my channel. Um, but you know, I think it was a good thing to try out the reviews. It had the appeal of never have I've done it before. Now that I've done it, and I got a gauge from the community, it kind of seems like that's you know, where I'm currently at with just doing, you know, tutorials and maybe showcases of my builds is kind of the lane I need to stay in. Um, but it's at least good to know that if something does come up where there's something I want to review, now that I've gotten that first one out of the way, I know that it's something that I can do. So you never know. I might end up doing more of those in the future, but at this point it's going to be kind of a limited thing if and when I do them. That's kind of where I'm getting at here. Because, you know, at the end of the day, like, just doing the Minecraft builds alone, it takes up a considerable amount of work to do it. Um, and I've gotten pretty efficient at it at this point because, you know, again, you know, I pre-record all my episodes so that this way it's just a matter of getting on, adding the commentary. But then even that can take a little bit of time because I've got to edit all these clips together into the episodes. I've got to add the commentary on, then I've got to clip them together and actually get that episode together and put it out. And I'm at the point where I do it all in one day as far as adding the commentary and doing my final edit. The first steps, just getting the first part of the first draft, let's say, of that episode together. That's something I'll work on over the course of the week. You know, I'll do my 3 or 4 episodes during the week, and I'll just go one at a time, and then on Saturday and Sunday, or usually Saturday I'll do 2 episodes, Sunday I'll do 2 episodes, but more often than not I'll just do everything on Sunday. I'll add the commentary, and then I'll upload everything online, and that in itself, it can take several hours to do. Is I'll start like around 9 o'clock, and then I'll be done with it by maybe 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and that's from beginning to end. From adding the commentary, editing, and then uploading to YouTube. So, I mean, it's definitely a little bit of a lengthy process. You know, I don't want to get burnt out on it because at the end of the day, I love doing this. And that was just another thing that I was kind of thinking about as far as doing these review episodes. I want to stick to what I really enjoy doing. Because it was kind of getting to a point where I was thinking, I'm like, you know, I didn't honestly, I didn't really want to do it all that much. After I did the first couple of them, that was really the gauge, and then also on top of that, the feedback I got from people. But again, this will be a good thing. It'll give me stuff to talk about in my Minecraft videos. So I'm sure some of you probably thinking what I've been thinking of Strange New Worlds going forward, especially since I've only done reviews in the first two episodes. It's kind of funny because at this point I can honestly say the honeymoon is over, as far as Strange New Worlds, and I'm not going to say that I don't like it, but I have started to notice some things as episodes have been going on, um, and it's not bad. Don't get me wrong. I just want to say that first. I've been enjoying Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. I think they've done a pretty good job with it. But with that being said, um, I still feel that these are the people that wrote Discovery. And what I mean by that, and I mean, I don't intend it to be a knock, but if you're going to come into any franchise, especially like one as established as Star Trek, you better have done your homework. And that was always my gripe with the Discovery. I feel like they didn't do that. And I feel like a lot of their decisions that they've done early on, not so much now. I still have some of my gripes with Discovery. I feel like they've addressed a lot of those, but a lot of it just feels like lazy writing. And that's what brings me into Strange New Worlds, that um, while I appreciate what they're trying to do, as far as bring back that classic Trek, at the same time, I feel that they've been very, very lazy about it. And what I mean by that is that if you're a fan of not even the original series, TNG, because I almost feel like TNG is almost like a remake or a reboot of the original series, like it was, but like I mean that in another way too. Like the storytelling was very similar, as far as like the types of episodes that they had. But I thought that on Next Generation they kind of um, added their own twist on these things, and it didn't feel like they were just copying. And I'm not gonna lie, this is the vibe that I'm kind of getting from Strange New Worlds. As I've been watching it week to week, it feels like they're just going back, like, let's watch as much TOS and TNG that we can to come up with some ideas for some Star Trek episodes. And um, I don't necessarily know that's what they should be doing. I talked about this in the past, that they're legit, and I'm not even making this up. Somewhere at Paramount, there's a manual that Gene Roddenberry wrote on how to write the perfect Star Trek episode. I don't know what happened to this, but the writers of Strange New Worlds needs a copy, because you don't need to watch episodes of the original series to try to come up with something to mirror it if you know what you're writing, is basically what I'm getting at. And I don't feel that the writers that they have fully understand what they're writing about. I think that they're trying and they're giving a fairly good effort, but I think that more work needs to be done. Um, but we'll see what happens. I will say that again, I've been loving Strange New Worlds, but I want to see them do better, because I don't want to see Star Trek go back on the shelf again. And I feel like if they don't, really start to address these things going forward, that they're going to have problems down the road, because they're going to get to a point where people are just going to get bored if it's just nothing but a rehash of episodes of previous series. You know what I mean? But we'll see what happens. There's still more episodes left to come this season. Um, I know that they, in the last episode of Strange New Worlds, they finally they're touching on Spock's half brother, Cybok. They're setting up Star Trek V: The Final Frontier, right out of the gate, which I thought was pretty cool. I actually got kind of excited when I saw that, so maybe that will give us a little bit more of that original writing that I've been hoping for. To actually give that backstory on Cybok and just do something within the spirit of the original series, but give us something new. That's basically what I'm getting at. Like, you don't have to copy the same science fiction episodes over and over again to write great science fiction. You just need to come up with a new, unique, and great storyline and start to run with these, you know? Um, but no, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, like, if I had to rate the show overall right now, I'd probably give it like an 8.2 out of 10. You know, I like it, but I don't fully love it yet, and I'm waiting for that more originality and for them to um, find their or get in their stride. Because, like, with that being said, it can take time for a Star Trek show to really find its footing. Like Discovery, I feel like it took Discovery 4 seasons to get that footing. Um, TNG was another one. I feel like they really didn't hit their stride with TNG until season 3. Um, because, like, if you watch season 1 of 2 of TNG, like, it feels at times like a different show to the rest of the seasons. And you can say the same thing about every single Star Trek that's come out before, especially with like Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise. I think Enterprise the most out of all of those. Enterprise didn't really feel like they got in their stride until season 3, and then it sucked because we only got one more season of it, and they canceled it. And these were some of the best episodes they were putting out. So hopefully, as time goes on, Enterprise or Strange New Worlds will get better, and we'll get some more adventures with the Enterprise. But we'll see what happens. So anyway, getting a little bit more we got going on here. You can see we've done or finished our pinstripe here for the side of their lower hull, leading up to the pylons. And then we're getting some pinstriping done on the top and bottom of our engine, and then we kind of reshaped it on the sides here, just to give it a little bit more of that curve that it was missing. But you know, these are little details like I talk about that will help bring out that identity in the ship a little bit more. You know, just remember that not one of these by themselves is going to do it, but when you start adding these together over a period of time, you're going to end up with something that looks like this. So hopefully you guys will stick with me through the remainder of these episodes, but just remember that 192 is going to be the last episode that we'll be doing on the Enterprise D. Unfortunately, I won't be able to do a tour. Um, Maybe I might do a contest for somebody to submit videos to me that have actually done this tutorial, um, and maybe I might actually do that in a video as a way to do it. But we'll see. Might play that by ear. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section if you'd like to do that. Maybe this would be a way to showcase some other builders on the community, and maybe do a first step in kind of a collaboration with somebody else. But we'll see. Let's let that marinate and see what everyone feels about it. But I think that's going to wrap us up today. I just want to thank you all again for tuning in today's episode. If you haven't, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I can't thank you guys enough for that. Also, don't forget to hit the bell, share this video. Also, if you're a new subscriber, you may want to double check and make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. I've noticed this myself with channels that I go on to. I'll subscribe to them, and then for whatever reason, YouTube unsubscribes me. So if you're checking out my videos on a weekly basis, double check, make sure you're subscribed, because you might not be. Also, don't forget to check out my new episodes dropping Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Uh, and If you have any questions regarding today's episode, be sure to drop a comment below. Definitely love hearing from everybody. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up today. I just want to thank you all again for tuning in today's episode. I hope everybody has a happy and safe week. I'll catch you in the next episode. And of course, what did you make in Minecraft today? Let me know in the comments section.